What is going on, everybody? It is Victoria Andean here from Radioactive, and today we are joined by Lee Jennings from The Funeral Portrait. How are you doing today, Lee?
Howdy, I'm good. I'm good. Happy to be here.
We're very excited to have you. I'm pumped for this interview, so.
I am too. And Lee is in St. Louis, ladies and gentlemen. So am
Yes.
I. We're in St. Louis right now.
How far away do you think we are? I'm literally in the Barnes and Noble West County Center Mall parking lot. So how far away are we?
I'm 20 minutes away from you.
Look at
20 minutes
that.
away from you.
There's not much time traveling going on.
No. Oh man, that's so crazy. What a small world, I swear. And you said your guitar player Caleb is from St. Louis. Am I correct in
Yes.
that?
Yes. No, he's born and raised in St. Louis area, I guess, as we should say. You know how it is here. That's how it is in Atlanta too. No one's really from Atlanta. Like they don't really live in the city of Atlanta. They always live in some sort of little suburb around. So, but yeah, no, Caleb, he's from here. He was in a bunch of local bands from around here, and I met him at a local show or I guess it was his band was just there hanging out, and we played, and we just hit it off, and him and I just stayed in touch, and I kind of managed his band and kind of worked with him and kind of stuff like that. And then eventually we needed a second guitar player, and I was like, Caleb, okay, it's time, let's do this. And he joined, and that was back in 2019. So
That's awesome, man. That's really cool. All right. Well, Lee, I got a couple questions here for you.
all
So,
right.
give us a little intro to your band. I mean, you kind of already gave us a little sliver. Now, give us the main course. And do you have anything new that you want your fans to know about you
All
right out
right.
of the gate?
Right out of the gate, hitting with the tough ones. No, so basically the story goes that started the band in 2014. We toured a lot, especially for a small little baby band. And then that turned into us signing a deal with a label. And sorry, I'm dying. It's our off day, so I get to yawn. Today's the only day I get to yawn. So I've told myself working days, no yawning, off days, yawning. So basically, we signed to a deal with a label. We went on more tours. We released an EP. We released a record. And then basically, all of my members quit at the same time, except for me. We called it a reverse kick out, one of those kind of situations, which was fine because then eventually I was able to find the actual, what I feel like the true real members of the Funeral Portrait are. And that's where I found Homer, Rob, Caleb, Cody, along the way of us releasing kind of singles and trying to find the sound of our band, of what we really want to make over the past few years. And then in 2019, we signed to a label called Better Noise, and they were like, hey, we love your band. Let's go do a record. So we started on it, and then COVID hit. And as most people know, that really screwed up the music industry. And it kind of put us at this weird pause, hit kind of spot. So for about 2 years, we were at like a standstill with no music being released. And we finally kind of finished the record and are like, okay, let's release songs. So we released Voodoo Doll, and it did extremely well. And then we released Alien, and then we released more and more songs along as it goes. And we were kind of building this world of what our record is. And that's kind of where we're at now is, now things are at its like peak of like, oh my God, the record's coming out. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? So that's where we're at right this second.
Mhm. And
That's pretty sweet, man.
I know at the start there you had said, you guys started touring a lot for just being a small band. And I feel like that's
Yes.
a super important thing to do, is to just get out there right away and start playing. There's so many bands that just want to, keep releasing music, and then they're like pushing the playing shows to the back. And I feel like you kind of have to get out there.
Oh yeah, completely. Well, I think you kind of have to do both, right? I think you have you have to like be like super dedicated. So you have to be like, oh my God, this is my life, or it's basically not gonna work. So you have to be making content, gonna be making the songs, making the videos. They're like 70 things. Oh my God, sorry again. Like 70 things that you need to do at one time. And then you can finally like then maybe go play some shows, and then you get more shows, more shows, more shows. And the shows are kind of important to play, even if it's like 3 people a night, because like one day you're going to get an opportunity to go on a tour. And if you show up to that tour never being played shows before, you're going to crumble, or you might not like the band members that you're with. You learn so much about each other being on the road together. You're living in a smelly, dirty van or RV or whatever it is, whatever you can afford, or a car, together. And it's like, you don't know who these people really are until you're with them on the road.
Mhm.
No, that's awesome. I love that. I
Okay,
love
and I
that.
guess this kind of sort of segues into the next question with just touring and releasing new music. You guys had recently released a song called Suffocate City featuring Spencer Charnas from Ice Nine Kills. How did this collaboration come about, and what was it like working with Spencer?
So last year we got to play Silver Scream Con. Spencer reached out and he was like, "Hey, you guys want to open?" And we were like, yes." So we literally drove like from, because we were like technically on tour. We played one show of this tour, and then we left that tour for like 2 days to drive all the way up to Boston to play, and then all the way back down. And it was like this whole crazy thing. And basically we met him there, talked with him. He became kind of a fan of our band and all these things. And we kind of started talking more and more. And I was like, "Hey, I have this song, Suffocate City. I have a feeling that you really will like it, especially the second verse." And he listened to it. He was like, "Yo, I'd love to be on it." And he was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, please. So we recorded it. And then basically early this year, I flew out to LA and we filmed half of the music video, um, just him and I. And then about 3 weeks later, we finished the music video with everybody. So it was a fun collaborative project.
Yeah, it's
I
super
love
cool.
that
I
too.
think Spencer, like, just it fits so well, just his personality with like your guys' band. I don't know too much about your band like right now. I started kind of getting into your guys' music a few months ago, but it just jives really well when I watch the music video.
Yeah, I think that's something, really do look up to Ice Nine Kills, especially, I think Spencer has a vision, right? He knows what he wants to do, and he doesn't let it ever fall, right? And he never kind of misses. He always makes sure that it at least gets what he wants it to do. And that was something that I've kind of really, oh god dang, sorry. Kind of really looked up to him a lot because, well, one, he's been doing this for almost like 20 years, and which is crazy to think about. But I think with him though is he never gave up, and he always knew that something greater was for him and that he was going to get there. And that's something that I really have like been like, okay, I'm gonna do the same thing. I really believe in this band. I believe in what this band stands for. I'm just going to grind it, grind it, grind it. And then it transforms into this other project that is kind of turned into what is the Funeral Portrait now.
Speaking of the funeral portrait, I kind of want to inquire because that is an awesome, like super goth, super emo, super Edgar Allan Poe like esque name.
Mhm.
I want to know personally, how did that name come to be? What inspired that? Is there any homage to any sort of author, movie, TV show, anything?
Yeah, so we did so there's a song by a band called Opeth, and they have a song called The Funeral Portrait, which that is technically, I guess, where the band name comes from. But the idea was we were literally all the original band members and myself were in a band called Cosmoscope, and that name was horrible. The people that I showed it to, they were like, "Yeah, that does not fit this band. It doesn't fit the sound. It doesn't fit what this band is." So, what can we do that's something different and dark? And we wanted something that also was going to be 3 letters when you take the letters apart, because growing up I loved like AFI, and I always loved that it stood for actually something, that it wasn't just 3 random letters. So I always thought, well, one day we could just go by like TFP and it works, right? So I wanted something also just a little bit longer, but like and different. I don't know, nobody has the name The Funeral Portrait, You know what I mean? Like there's not other bands out there with that name, you know, and there's a million bands out there with that use the word like awake or breathe or ocean or sky, or you know what I mean? Like there's so many of those that I was like, I don't want any of those. I don't want like a trendy name either. You know, I don't want to use like like a V instead of an A, you know, or whatever. That's just not what we wanted to do. You know, no offense to bands that did that or do that now. It's just I wanted something that was more standout. It also kind of goes with like a brand as well, because I think like super big. I think about a brand. I think about all that kind of stuff. So you know, I thought, well, branding it on a T-shirt, TFP or the funeral portrait just looks cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can dig it.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing too. Like you always have to think about kind of what logos you could make out of it too, I guess. Like you said with the abbreviation of the letters, but also like what kind of logo can you put with it?
Yes, completely.
No, I love that. I think that is so cool.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a badass name. I like it. Just
I
sometimes like
love it.
and it's not that people like sometimes yes, band names do just genuinely like suck, but sometimes like the name shouldn't be bad, but it just is. If that makes any
Yes. Oh
I mean,
yes.
you're going on tour with a band that I absolutely love. Whew. Slaughter to Prevail is
Yeah.
probably easily in my top 10. Easily.
I love that. I
100%.
love that.
They are just holy cow, man. And what a gangster name too. I love Slaughter to Prevail so much, dude. Like they are just incredible.
No, they're cool. It's so cool because like so we're about like 5 days into the tour, I think, right now. And it's been really cool because like you listen to their music and you listen to our music, and it does not go together at all, right? Like they are just brutal like death metal, really, you know, deathcore, you know, that whole thing. And then you see us and we're like little whiny emo boys up there, you know. And so it's so funny that we're like opening this show with all these like iconic people, and it's like it's weird because like they are some of the nicest people I've probably ever met on the road. Them and
Slaughter?
their oh yeah, like they've been nothing but incredible to us, super friendly, super nice. They came up to us first day, introduced themselves. Like every day we talk about stuff, we sit down and eat lunch together. Like it's been great.
Love it.
Yes, well, you love to see it. That's what you love to see. So
Mhm.
especially from like scary people, like man, like those guys shouldn't be nice, honestly. Yeah, they
Alex
really,
Care?
well, that's the thing is one of my friends was at the show yesterday and they texted me, they're like, "Where are you?" Like, "I'm scared. This band is scary." And I'm like, "Well, they're the nicest people ever when they're not on stage." I was like, and the thing is I think even like they've even talked about it in interviews or something where they're just like, "Yeah, we're just like nice dudes. We just love to play scary music." It's like a persona. You know what I mean? It's just like a stage figure, you know, and that's like me when I'm up on stage. I kind of get this like southern twang, and I kind of do this other version of me.
I feel like the same could be said about Spencer Charnas too.
Yeah,
Wouldn't you
I was
agree?
gonna
I
actually
feel like
bring that up.
well, I mean, I
Yeah,
feel
well,
like
I
he
mean,
goes up.
I don't know. I think that man is an actual serial killer. We just haven't found it yet. So I
Well,
think I,
I remember when we interviewed Chevy the first time, and she was saying that sometimes, like, either before Spencer goes on stage or after he's off stage, like, sometimes he's just still in that, like, mindset of being, like, Killer Spencer Charnas on stage. And
yep,
Chevy
yep.
one time was like, Spencer, like, you're scaring me. Like, calm down.
You okay,
Yes.
dude?
Oh yeah. Well, it's hard, and you know I think it is sometimes hard to turn it off or know when to turn it off. You know, and I think Spencer, that's part of who he is too. I think he is a little bit of the character, right? I think of course it's just like me. I'm definitely part of my character too. And you know, you wouldn't be who you are, you wouldn't be up there doing it if you didn't have some of that. But I think with Spencer, you know, I think it's just part of it now, especially now that he does like cons and all these things, like he kind of has to play that character for it to work.
Well, and he's just
Yeah.
involved in it like almost 24/7. Like they're always touring. They're doing like that Silver Scream Con and like he's always
It's
somewhat in that character. So I feel like it's at that point it's kind of your life. all the
You
time.
you have to. Yep.
Yeah.
So you have an album coming out on September 13th called Greetings from Suffocate City. What can we expect from this album, and where did that title come from too?
So, well, one, we're theatrical, right? So like the title needed to be something a little out there and more tell the story of the band, right? So like Suffocate City is quote, let's say quote, made up place that we created for the people who just like don't fit in, the weirdos, the us, us three on this conversation, would belong in Suffocate City. Exactly. And it doesn't matter. I don't care, what you believe in and all those kind of things. Like this is a place for the people who do not belong to belong. And basically as the record progresses, it kind of goes deeper and deeper into emotions. And we've released a lot of the songs on the record already, but we do have new versions of it. We've got different songs that have features, and like there's a new recorded version of our song Holy Water. Like there's just all these different things on this record to kind of put together for our what we're calling our like debut record, because really this is the funeral portrait. What you hear now to what will be coming next after this record is what this band is, and that's more what we're treating it as.
So that's your guys' like first major like album release then.
Yes, because so we have an EP and then we have a record, but like we don't play any of those songs anyways live. We play only stuff from this record. So for us, it's like, I don't know. And it's a completely different band besides me, and we are a band. We're not like a solo member thing, it's not, no offense to Jarris Johnson, but it's not Jarris Johnson, right? Where it's just a dude, right? Or, Nothing Nowhere when it's just a dude, right? With a band name, or even, I Sign Kills. I mean, he is definitely a little bit more collaborative now. But like, technically when I go and see Ice Nine Kills play, I hear people just chanting the word Spencer, Spencer, and not Ice Nine Kills, Ice Nine Kills, So for our band, we are very collaborative, especially with certain things. And I couldn't be doing this without them, as much as they couldn't be doing it without me. And that's very important to us. A lot of those bands, I mean, not to put words into people's mouths, but like Motionless, it's kind of the same way. They just don't push it the same, I think. And, Falling Reverse and a lot of those, I mean, that's how Panic at the Disco turned into, and that's how a lot of these bands turn into is eventually when there's just a revolving door of members or they're not the OGs, they don't have as much say, right? Where our band doesn't treat it that way. We try and be as equal and even as possible. There's definitely certain things that, I do the interviews because the idea of having all of us sit here, it would be 7 hours long instead of 30 minutes or 40 minutes,
We kind of touched on this topic a little bit, but you guys are currently on tour with Five Finger Death Punch and Slaughter to Prevail. How's that been going all around?
It's insane. Five Finger are some of the nicest dudes I've ever met in my life. We literally last night, like the bass player just sat down and ate lunch with us. And he was just like they're all about our band. They wanted to bring a young, fresh, new band that was different than who they are too, and want to just like experience new music. And they love that we're like a rock band because normally they only tour with metal bands. And Slaughter kind of feels the same way. They're like, we've never toured with a rock band. It's only been metal. And so they've all been nothing but awesome about it because they're just like, yo, this is cool that there's like a new, fresh, young band, even though I know we're not that young, but to them we are, and so it's really cool to like hear it from their mouths. And the crowds have been nothing but acceptable and awesome. Because you wouldn't expect that, you wouldn't expect like the quote emo boys kissing band to like have such a powerful message of what we believe in and stuff to to ring over everything. And I think it's been cool to have all these guys in these bands come up to us and be like, you guys are awesome. Like, this has been awesome. Like, you know, it's cool to have a rock band on a quote metal tour.
How about Marilyn Manson though? We haven't really heard from Marilyn.
Yeah, no. So that's a whole thing. I don't really talk about it much because there's just a lot of stuff going on. But I'll say the show is nothing but incredible. And he's been extremely nice and awesome to us. And I'm just here playing a rock show.
Right on.
His thing. Yes.
Right on. Damn, I kind of want to see if I could talk my girlfriend into going to the show tomorrow.
You should come. You should
Do
really
it,
come.
Ian, because I'm going to the Saskatoon show. We both have to go. We both
Ian,
gotta
we should go.
Well, that's the thing is we have date night tomorrow night, and I had no idea.
Date night. There you go.
I had no idea you guys were going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah, it's literally us. We're at the amphitheater, the
Hollywood Casino Amphitheater.
There you go. Just go get some cheap lawn tickets. It'll be fun. Even just the lawn is a great time.
I feel like I kind of want to. I want to take her. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. If you do go, just reach out to me and I'll come and say hey.
Really?
Yes. In between the sets, I'm allowed to go and like hang out outside. So
there you go,
so
Ian.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to have a conversation with Sammy whenever we get done here because
I love that.
I'm thinking about this now. All right. So you have done a lot of amazing things this year so far, getting radio play on Octane, a collaboration with Spencer Charnas, among other things. If you could give me like 3 goals for you and your band off the top of your head for this next year, what would it be? 3 things.
In a year. So from now to then, I'd love to be able to sell out like, you know, like our own tours, maybe not huge, right? Maybe like 500 cap rooms. I would love to do that. I would love for us to release a story of some sort, so like a comic book, graphic novel, some sort of thing, because we have these icons. That's like a huge thing for us. We've got these characters that play roles in our story. So that'd be really cool. And I think 3 would be to basically start the rollout for our follow-up record, because we haven't released music in so long that some of our super fans, you know, it's just so hard, like that have been with us for 10 years. They're like, oh my God, like, where's this record? You know, so I want to start the rollout basically a year from now, you know, for the next record. Because I don't want to give it, it's no time to waste anymore. Like it's every year and a half, I want to have a record out.
I can dig it. That'd be cool.
Everyone is always so demanding with the new music. I find it hilarious because a band will just release a record and then fans are like, when's the next record coming out?
Yes.
Give me more.
For me, though, I that's how I am though. I like, I mean, I don't know, right now I'm like, I'm ready to move on already, because I've also had this record done for like 4 years. So
I mean,
maybe I won't feel that way next time.
Yeah. All right, Lee. We are close to the end of the interview, but just to wrap things up, Ian and I both have a fun kind of question that we would like to ask. Ian, do you want me to ask mine first?
Yes.
Okay. I don't actually really know which one I want to ask, but like we have this whole sheet of like really good, like just random questions we like to ask. Okay. Do you like watch movies or like play video games? Are you kind of both?
Yes, ish and ish. Yes.
Okay. So this is a kind of like pretty wide open question, but if you could be in any movie or video game, which one would you want to be in, and what would your character be like personality wise?
Okay, so I'm
like that.
Heck yes. Yeah, I'm gonna stop you there because I used to sit on the school bus. Okay, this is like elementary school, when I get made fun of, and I beg God to make Pokemon real. Okay, because so I am obsessed with Pokemon. I love Pokemon. I don't keep up as much as I would love to keep up and playing, just because I'm so busy. But OG Pokemon, for the first 10 years of Pokemon, I was obsessed, right? So I would definitely want to be a Pokemon trainer because I hated school. I was like, oh, well, if Ash Ketchum doesn't have to go to school, well, Lee Jennings doesn't have to go to school then, I could be I could be my own, and I'm like, it was this whole thing. And I would be in the world of Pokemon. So that way, at least Pikachu was real. I know I'm a basic. I'm definitely such a basic person for loving Pikachu, but like he's the man. So that's my answer.
Good answer. I dig
Good
it.
answer. I dig it too.
So,
I definitely dig it.
Do you do like the Pokemon cards too, or is it just like the game?
I did. I told myself I can't anymore. I more do like, I'm being serious. I do like the plushies, like the stuffed animals, and anything weird, like if it's or knockoffy weird, like anything just weird. So I have a lot. I have a massive collection.
Right on.
All right, Lee.
I'm
At
ready.
one point, this was our signature radioactive question. At one point,
Okay.
we've been doing this for about 2 years. Used to be our signature, but we're doing things a little bit differently now. But picture this. The funeral portrait is on tour. Bus breaks down in front of a haunted house, right? You have to seek refuge in said haunted house for one night. Until dawn, you and your band are haunted by a dead celebrity. Who are you picking and why?
Oh Lord, that's hard. That's hard.
Would you like to hear our 3 most popular answers?
Yes, because these might help me.
Our number 1 answer, without Betty White. Betty White is number 1. Number 2, Elvis Presley.
Okay.
Number 3, Michael Jackson.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe Johnny Cash. I always liked Johnny Cash. I don't know. I'd love to like the idea of just like chilling by like being haunted by the man in black, like that dude would like one, it'd probably be pretty scary because the stories that dude has probably had, I just hope that he would, sing some songs and be spooky, That did help. Thank you for that. Because it's weird. I don't know. That's a great question though. I love that.
Well, it's so like it's such a open question because you could go like for actors, actresses, like
Yep.
sports athletes, like you can go for anyone pretty much.
I love that.
And my dad's a huge Johnny Cash fan too.
Ian, I
love
forget
that.
who did you pick for your dead celebrity?
Oh God, I don't even remember. Vincent Price.
Right.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's a good one. And then what about you?
I'm trying to remember what I had said. I think so. I'm a big WWE fan. I love wrestling. I think
Okay.
I had said Razor Ramon. I don't know if you're familiar with who that is.
Okay.
But
Okay.
that's who I believe I had said Razor Ramon.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's sick. I love all this. That's a great question. Keep asking that question. It's a great question.
Okay, Ian, we'll bring it back.
We're gonna bring it back.
We'll bring it back because Lee said
Next season,
we're bringing it back.
Next season, we're gonna bring it back.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Lee, for coming on.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me. This was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
This was I had a blast. This was great. One of my top favorite interviews. So thank you, Lee, for coming on the show. I was pumped.
Of course. Well, maybe we can do it again after the record's out for like a few months, maybe before the end of the year. We'll do like a follow-up one.
I would love to.
I love doing those. Those are fun.
Awesome. Well, we will.
Maybe we can focus on the wacky questions because I feel like you guys would have some great wacky ones.
Oh, we do. We got a list of like crazy ass questions.
I love that. Well, sounds good, guys. I will talk to you guys soon.